Hi, I'm Sierra Morris and this is Chuck and the Chicks. In this video, I'll be talking about ways to protect your backyard flock from predators. Spring is a wonderful and incredible time of year. With winter behind us, all of us and our chickens are looking forward to more time outside. However, more time outside in their free range or yard area means more chances for exposure to predators. I hope the information in this video will help keep your chickens safe. Creating sound infrastructure for your chickens is one of the best ways that you can protect them. In addition to building great structures to keep your chickens safe during the evening and just in general from the elements and from predator pressure, we use redundant locks on all of our chicken doors whenever possible. So instead of just using one kind of lock whenever possible, we use multiple kinds of locks. It doesn't necessarily mean predators can't permeate these locks, but it does slow them down and gives you more chance to discover them in case they are trying to get inside of your chicken structures. So whenever possible, use multiple different kinds of locks on your chicken doors. For example, on our chicken coop, we have both a latch and a drop hook. On other doors, we have a latch and bungee cords. You can use carabiners and other kinds of locks. Again, just using redundant locks on the entrances and doors to your chicken facilities makes it less likely that predators will be able to break inside. Providing your chickens with a run space in addition to a coop is another way to protect them from predators. Free ranging isn't a practical or safe alternative for everyone, so runs I think are a great solution to this as far as providing your chickens with the optimum amount of space so they can be active and not be aggressive towards each other, so they have adequate space to be able to move around, to eat and drink and just enjoy their area. And it also protects them from weather and predators on days where you might not be able to monitor them as closely, or you just want to know they're in a safe and enclosed space. If it's possible to enclose your entire run in hardware cloth, that's fantastic. Chicken wire is what most people use on their runs. Again, we hope and aspire to eventually cover our entire run in hardware cloth as well, because that provides the most amount of protection. We say it all the time, but chicken wire is meant to keep chickens in, not predators out, but it is absolutely better than nothing. I highly advocate for creating a run for your chickens if it's at all practical or possible for you. Even if you live in an area with nice weather, it's just a nice option to be able to have additional space for your chickens where they are protected. Consider keeping and training a livestock dog. Again, this is one of those options that's not practical or possible for everyone, but if a livestock dog is appropriate for your situation, we have had extremely positive experiences with our livestock dog on multiple occasions, saving the lives of our flock from predators that permeated all of the protective measures that we did to keep them out of our yard. The livestock dog is that line of defense for your chickens. And if that's a practical or possible solution for you, that we've had really positive experiences with that. Keep in mind that your livestock dog will need their own housing, food, and veterinary care. Sprays, pest deterrent powders, and scent balls are another way to keep predators out of your backyard chicken space. These have to be reapplied after it rains, and they're only good for a certain amount of period of time before they need to be reapplied. But they make these kinds of chemicals. They're available at big box stores and farm stores everywhere. Make sure on the packaging that you check for ones that are safe to be sprayed around animals and children, especially your chickens themselves. It wouldn't make sense to use a predator deterrent spray that would be harmful to them. But again, they make scent deterrent sprays, which are another way to protect the perimeter of your property and discourage wild animals from coming into the areas where your chickens are. Motion sensor lights and cameras are another predator prevention method you can try if that's a practical option for you. Motion sensor lights can be used to turn a light on if something comes into the area where your chickens are, which sometimes just the light coming on is enough to deter a predator from coming into your space and alerts you that something's happening. If you have the option to use cameras on your property so you can monitor the activity of wildlife and of your chickens during the day, if that's a helpful security measure, I highly recommend doing that if that's a possibility for you. There are all sorts of ranges of products and prices in this form of predator protection, but motion sensor lights, predator lights that come on and flash in a really obnoxious way to deter wildlife, and cameras are all an option you can use to help protect your backyard chickens. Consider bringing your food and water containers inside at night or possibly storing them in commander totes or in a weatherproof shed close to your chicken area at night, and then putting them back out into your chicken's area in the morning to further deter predators from coming into your chicken space during the spring wildlife are having young. And this means that they're going to be looking for more food sources and easy food sources. These might include any sort of leftover dishes or snacks or chicken feed that you leave in your chicken area overnight. So if you're finding this kind of predator pressure having an impact on your backyard flock, you can use commander totes or get a small tool shed to place next to your chicken area and place your food and water containers in that at night and put them out in the morning to remove the temptation for wildlife to come into your area to eat those things. And be sure you're cleaning up any sort of food scraps or chicken treats that you give your chickens during the day at night, because again, easy meals are what draw wildlife into your property and your area. So if you remove those temptations, they're less likely to try and get into your chicken area. Make sure you have adequate roosting space for your chickens at night in their coop. Additional roosting space can help reduce interflock aggression, and it also makes it possible for your chickens to have a safe and secure place to sleep at night. Don't let your chickens roost and sleep outside during the evening, because that's inviting a predator attack and predator presence. Make sure you've provided your chickens with a safe coop, and that inside their coop they have adequate space where they can roost safely at night. 2x4s are an ideal way to make roosts, but you can also use found branches. I would use ones that are at least 3 inches in diameter, so they're thick enough and heavy enough to support the weight of your chickens. But there are ways to create roosts for free. So make sure you have enough roosts for your chickens and that they're roosting in their coop safely at night. You can keep a rooster. So I want to make a lot of disclaimers for this option, because for a lot of people, they can't legally own roosters where they are. Most HOAs and places within city limits will not permit you to have a rooster, so this might not be a legal or practical option for you. The other thing to consider is this is a live, intact, male livestock animal that will need training if you expect them to be ham tame or docile. Individual bird and individual temperaments of chicken breeds are going to vary pretty wildly as far as which roosters are going to be more hand tame or not. But in order to have a hand tame rooster, you do have to dedicate time to training and handling them. I would not recommend a rooster for anybody who is close to city limits. I would not recommend a rooster for anybody who has small children. The two primary jobs of a rooster are, 1, to protect his flock, and 2, to service his hens to provide for the next generation of chickens. So if you have small children, their chaotic movements and their loud movements can make a rooster think that his flock is under attack, and this can cause aggression. So if you have small children, I wouldn't recommend getting a rooster, or if you can't legally own one in your area, again, that's not really a practical option for you. And in order to have a tame rooster, it does take time and training. I have handled Chuck every single day of his life since he was 2 days old. So that is an incredible amount of dedication and time it took to get him to have the personality that he has. And again, he's participated in that, and his individual temperament and breed plays a role as well. So if you have small children, I wouldn't recommend a rooster. If you can't legally own one in your area, again, that's not a practical option for you. But if it is possible, understand that it will take some additional time and training to have them peacefully work within your flock, but they are a great asset and protection to your flock if that's a practical and realistic option for you. Landscape mindfully around your chicken areas. So unkept brush, high grasses, unkept weeds, letting the forest or just unkept wildlife and plants and areas come right up to your chicken area, that increases the likelihood that you're going to experience predators in the form of mice and snakes and other creatures that take refuge and make homes in that unkept landscaping. So make sure you landscape thoughtfully around your chicken run and your chicken coop and the areas that your chickens are going to frequent. We have intentionally built a 3-foot path at the very least between the unkept areas in our yard and the forest and things like that, between that and our chicken area, to create that buffer. So make sure you landscape mindfully around your coop and run to discourage predator presence. Creating a fence around your chicken areas I consider an essential component of backyard chicken keeping. A fence is one of the first some of the most expensive things that you can do to protect your chickens, but it is absolutely essential to create a safe and predator-free area for them. The highest and sturdiest fence you can create is going to provide them with the most protection. So I highly advocate for fencing the area that your chickens are going to be in order to protect them from predators. Close your chicken areas at dusk. Dusk is one of the times that predators are the most active, when they'll first be looking for their first meal of the evening, so making sure that your chickens are in their safe protected area, in their coop or in their run when dusk comes, is one of the best ways you can protect them from predators. If your chickens are reluctant to come in at night, you can also train them to come into a treat call at night in order to come back into their protected and safe chicken areas when dusk comes. But they will naturally start to gravitate towards their safe home when evening comes, because chickens can't see well at night. They're blind in the dark. So they will naturally start to go back to their coop and run in the evening. But if you're able to encourage them to be in that area at dusk, they're going to be more protected from predators. Collect your eggs daily. Collecting eggs every day is part of responsible chicken care and maintenance. It makes it so you can enjoy the products that your chickens are producing for you, and it also discourages predators from seeing your coop as an easy place to get a snack. So make sure that you're collecting those eggs every single day so that predators don't start to rely on your chicken coop as a food source. As part of daily chicken checks, when you're observing and looking at your chicken areas and their coop and run and the yard that they frequent, whatever space that they spend time in, make sure that you're checking the perimeter for any signs of predator presence. And predator presence will look like new or unexpected holes, signs of digging, claw marks. You might smell an unpleasant urine smell from territory marking from a different kind of wildlife animal. If you're observing the perimeters, you're going to be able to know ahead of time if a predator has been scoping out your chicken area. A lot of times when a predator attacks your chicken area, it is not the first time they've been to that space. So just vigilantly looking at your perimeters and checking your structures on a daily basis can alert you to the beginning of a predator presence, so you have time to stop it. If you have a compost pile or compost bucket that you're using in your backyard, make sure that you store that away from your chicken area. A lot of wildlife that we consider vermin or predators for chicken are actually carrion eaters, meaning they're going to eat any easy meal. They're going to be looking for things on the ground, things that they can just scavenge to find for a food source, and they will absolutely view your compost pile or compost bucket as a food source, and they will follow that smell to that area. So make sure wherever that is a space far removed from your chicken area, from your chicken run or coop. That way the predators, if they do come towards your compost pile, they're not going to be coming close to your chickens. Keeping your chicken area clean is not only essential to keeping your chickens healthy, but it's also a way to prevent predator presence. Infestations like mites and predators like snakes and mice find an unkept run and chicken coop very appealing, because excess droppings and decaying bedding provides homes for them. So keeping your chicken areas clean, keeping their run and their coop clean and hygienic is a great way to not only keep them healthy, but it keeps the predator presence down, because it makes it so it's unappealing for predators to be in that space. Rocks are a really great and low-cost way to provide additional protection to your chickens. We've lined our entire chicken run and coop with rocks all around the perimeter. You can also bury chicken wire or hardware cloth in the perimeter of your chicken areas, and that way it keeps predators from digging under, and rocks also have the same sort of deterrent effect. Lining your chicken area with rocks or gravel discourages predators from digging into your chicken area. Leave a wildlife buffer zone. And this might seem anti-instinctive, but we have actually planned our homestead in such a way that we have left an intentional hedgerow. We have left an intentional wildlife area to provide space for the wildlife animals that are in our area, so they have some place to exist that's not near our chickens. Vermin and other things that we consider predatory or unpleasant animals, they're wildlife and they deserve to exist. They were here first. There are lots of things that we can do to deter them and discourage them from being in our space, but in order to do that, they need to have some sort of safe place where they can be away from us. So we have developed our property in such a way that we left an intentional hedgerow and wildlife area to provide that space for those creatures. And I have strong feelings and very much feel encouraged that this has been a big reason that we haven't experienced some of the predator pressure that our neighbors have, because those animals have someplace else to be. So if that's a practical option for you or something you would consider, we've had positive experiences doing that. Some predators in your area may be protected species. They may be endangered species, and it may be illegal to hunt or kill them. If you have encountered something like that in your area, be sure to contact your local wildlife office for safe and ethical removal of these animals. These services will come out and oftentimes take the animals off your property for free and relocate them to someplace that's more appropriate for them to be. So if you're experiencing repeated predator pressure, consider reaching out to your local wildlife office about relocating the animal that's bothering you and your chickens. Do research and know specifically what predators are prevalent in your area. The types of predator measures that are going to be appropriate for you are extremely regionally specific. The sort of predators that we face in our specific growing zone might be different from the sort of predators that you'll be dealing with, and that way you'll know what kind of energy and products and things you need to put forth in order to prevent the specific predators in your area. So do a little bit of research to find out what predators are prevalent in your area and what measures are most effective to prevent them specifically where you are. Decoys, scarecrows, and yard fascinators are other ways to deter predators from finding your backyard chicken space appealing. If you're going to be using decoys of any kind, make sure that you're moving them on a somewhat regular basis. It may deter predators initially, but they'll catch on because they are smart animals if the decoy never moves. So again, decoys, scarecrows, and yard fascinators that are specifically designed to deter predators may be another option you can use to keep your backyard chickens safe. One of the best ways you can deter predators from being in your backyard chicken area is by simply interacting with your chickens on a daily basis and be present. You would be surprised the amazing things you can do, observe, and prevent from happening just by taking a daily walk at dusk in your chicken areas and mindfully looking at the area around you, observing any predator presence, observing signs of animals, all sorts of things, and even just your human presence being in the yard where your chickens are will deter animals from wanting to be in that space. So mindfully looking at your chicken area, run and coop on a daily basis is a great way to prevent predators. And don't forget to look at the ceilings and tops of your structures, because snakes and other predators can actually climb. So in addition to looking at the flooring and all sorts of other aspects of your chicken infrastructure, don't forget to look up. I hope this was helpful. I tried to name as many predator prevention techniques that I could know of, heard of, think of, or all the things that we have used here in our backyard to keep our backyard chickens safe. If I've forgotten any of the predator prevention methods that have been effective for you, please be sure to let me know in the comments and share that information with other people who are looking to find new ways to protect their backyard chickens. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you're enjoying my content, please like, share, and subscribe. We would love to have you as part of our flock. Lots of love from our coop to yours. See you next time.